Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. My name is Lou Irene. I'm with the Estimating Edge. I've been with the Edge for about 7 years now. We have a lot that we want to discuss with you today, but before we get started, I have a couple of housekeeping items I'd like to cover with you first. First thing is that everyone is on mute. The second thing I want to share is that we're going to save some time at the end for questions. So click on the section of the box there, enter in your questions, and we'll get to as many of those as we can at the end of the call. You'll all get a recording of the session after it's over as well. All right, let's get started. All right, as most of you know, the Edge is an all-in-one estimation platform. And what we're looking to do is work with you guys and show you additional ways on how to leverage the platform. So you've been using the Edge. Nothing new here that we're going to show you in the Edge. What we're going to work on today is EDGE Smart Takeoff. We're constantly looking for new ways to support additional trades. Some of those trades like drywall, fireproofing, we're going to be able to help out with EDGE Smart Takeoff with getting some of that takeoff done prior to the estimation process. Before we hop in, a word from our sponsors. Obviously, we have to start with Foundation Software. It is probably the top construction accounting platform there is. A lot of functionality. We have an integration with them. We also have Payroll for Construction, which is obviously processing service for payroll. We have an HQ suite, Project HQ, Executive HQ, Crew HQ, and Workforce HQ. These are various project management, executive management and reporting, labor and dispatch and resource management, and HR management tools. The Estimating Edge, which we're already in love with. We have WorkMax, mobile time tracking for the field, getting hours against codes from the field on your devices. Okay, Smart Takeoff and WorkPack. We're going to go through interiors today, which is kind of the main thing that we've been looking forward to getting to today. This is an integration with WorkPack AI. It's workpack.ai. You can go to the website. EDGE Smart Takeoff is the portion of the Edge that will convert everything from WorkPack and push it into the Edge. This is a great way to help automate the takeoff process so you can spend less time doing actual measuring. All right, let's get started with WorkPack first. You're going to start by adding in your project. We're going to call this one Kara Construction. We're going to go into Kara Construction and bring in our file. Let's go get that file. We're going to bring in this Mar Vista project. One of the things that's incredible with WorkPack is how quickly it downloads that file right into the platform or uploads it right into the platform. I believe it's 80 something pages that it just did right there. All right, now we're going to go inside of that file that we just uploaded into WorkPack. Very first thing you need to remember to do is to bring it into AI setup mode. Once you bring that into AI setup mode, you then let it know what it is you want it to do and where. So we'll start with the where. You can do auto detection or you can tell it where to look. I like to tell it where to look. So we're going to now go down to our pages here. Remember we had 80 something pages. We're going to go find the floor plan for floors 3, 2, and 4. Let's see. think we're here at a little further. Okay, we got part of the first floor there. Looks like it's going to be a parking lot. Yep, so we've got our first floor parking lot, first floor construction plan. So now we're going to go find that second floor. Here's the second floor. All right, so here's the second floor. This is going to be now where we're going to add that manual selection. So I'm going to say, take a look at this area here. All right, so it's bringing in some of the information from the plans automatically. It's grabbing the 1/8 inch. It's just giving it a 10-foot height. So that's the second floor. Here's the third floor. We're going to again add takeoff zone. And just to reiterate, we're just saying take a look in here for whatever it is that we're going to tell it to go find. Third floor. All right, and here we are at the fourth and final floor. So, like I said before, you can have it auto detect. Sometimes it'll pick up other strange things. If you have like another small section of information down there, it'll sometimes pick them up there. All right, so we're going back up to the second floor here. And what we're going to do now is inside of our area for our floor plan, we're going to have it add in a label template. So here's a wall label template. So we're going to say, let's find a wall. So if we zoom in, we have a wall here. And it's saying W1 for each of these two walls. All right, so we have W1 now. Okay, so we said, take a look at this area, and we said, look for these. And for the most part, that's pretty much it. There's plenty of other things you can have it do where you can say, go look for doors, and you can have it go look for windows and a bunch of other things. We're going to keep it simple and focus primarily on walls. And we're going to now, let's see, we want to turn off the doors and windows in rooms. Yep, we want to do that, and we want to apply that to all of the zones. So it just turned them off for all of the rest of the zones there. And now we'll continue. So now it's going into all three of the zones, which was the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor. And it's going around and looking for all of the wall tags and then calculating the lineal footages of each of the walls per wall tag. Okay, that's the piece that you're getting from the WorkPack portion of this. So this is a very different process. You're going to bring your documents into WorkPack instead of bringing them into the EDGE, and WorkPack is a separate program from the EDGE. Then you're going to push the information from WorkPack into EDGE Smart Takeoff. So what it's doing right now is it's scanning that area, grabbing each wall type, putting the wall types in a list, and then assigning the lineal footages to each of those wall types per floor. It's sort of like having someone else do the takeoff portion for you, maybe an assistant or a junior estimator. but it's doing it in a very short amount of time. You can see it's already 66% done, so maybe the second and the third floor is done. I don't really know how it breaks it out. It could be 66% done with each floor. But you can see here it's still pretty fast, even though it's taken a minute or two. It's a pretty fast process. WorkPack can also do ceilings as well. It can do fireproofing columns, and beams are nearly complete. The more we work with them, the more we're trying to guide them along our trades that we have. All right, all set. That was pretty quick. Let's go take a look at what we got. All right, so on this floor plan, you can see the walls that were taken off, and they're color coded by the labels of each of the wall types. You can see here we have some of the exterior walls. We have some unknown and some unlabeled. So there are going to be some things to kind of go through and clean up a little bit, but the rest of it is done for you. So I would say the kind of main areas first that you're going to want to take a look at are going to be the unknown and unlabeled. If you're not doing exterior walls, maybe you're just doing some of the interiors, you can just go through and clean up some of those exterior walls by just deleting them. So I'm just right clicking and pulling them out of the way. That's just one thing that you won't need to deal with linking back and forth inside of the edge. So here's the process for deleting some. Then we'll have some walls here that are unknown, and then we can go take a look at maybe what some of those are supposed to be. It looks like this is an EW6, which probably really won't worry much about. And then here's a W7. So we can take this and change that to W7. So it's really just that easy. There's plenty of other unlabeled areas. Some of these are going to be things that we probably are just going to want to delete. It looks like this section here is an outdoor courtyard, so no real interior walls here that need to be built out. So you're going to come through and clean some of this up just like this. So little by little, there's a bunch of neat tricks that you can do in here. You saw that you can just reassign walls. You can also just go in and delete little sections that maybe aren't supposed to be there. You can also group walls. So if we said, we want to basically say, let's say W1S. So if we want to come in here and put this into group mode, we can come in and we can click on the various walls that we want to add into 1S. So very fast, very easy to kind of get around and make adjustments and tweaks with. So it's a neat screen. It's a neat way to get through the takeoff portion pretty quickly. I'm going to exit group mode. So you are going to have to do some kind of cleanup in here, but for the most part, this is going to knock out 70–80% of your takeoff time. And then from here, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to take this information now and you're going to export it. And when you export it, you're going to export it right into the Edge. That Edge is going to be where you're going to log in, and that's going to take you right into your Edge Smart Takeoff. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to add a new name here. This was Cara Construction. So we're adding this as a name. It brings it in. We're taking this as scenario 1, and then we're going to export it. And there's that. So the next portion is going to be inside of EDGE Smart Takeoff. So I already went ahead and logged into EDGE Smart Takeoff. This is my list of my bids that are there. We'll go ahead and refresh this and see if we get a new job. So there's our Kara construction job. We'll go inside and see if our information has traveled over. Not yet. So we'll give this a minute here, see what starts to populate. All right, we have the second floor and the third floor coming in now. Again, pretty quick process. I think we waited maybe 10, 15 seconds there. So here's all 3 floors. So there's not a lot to do inside of EDGE Smart Takeoff. You can take a look at it, but there's not much else for you to do inside of here. So here's that second floor plan. You can see the walls were taken off in here, and that's pretty much your corrections that you did inside of WorkPack. So there won't be any corrections to make in here. So once you see everything arrive, then you'll go to export, and you'll export that scenario. So once you click on that export, it'll say, what do you want to export? And then you'll just export that into the Edge. And that's it really for EDGE Smart Takeoff. That portion of it is really quick, really easy. It really doesn't matter how many licenses you have of WorkPack. You will more than likely only need one for exporting files into the Edge. And now here we are in the Edge. So if I refresh here, so we've got Kara Construction. I need to pull up my walls on WorkPack. And I'm going to slide this onto my other screen. So we're going to see this list of the wall types. I'm going to open this up on my other monitor. All right, so here is the job. We're going to check it out. Remember, you're beginning the process in WorkPack first. All right, there it is. So this is where things might get a little tricky. So if you're using project conditions, this is where you will use project conditions. I prefer to use project conditions, so I'm going to show you project conditions. You don't have to use project conditions. If you're not familiar with it, you can just go right into your page and put your conditions into the page. I'm going to show you project conditions. That way, if you're not using it, you might still see some value in it. So I'm going to call this my PC page. The one tricky thing with this is you have to remember to click the project conditions page box here. Otherwise, it'll be the common condition. So that was a completely different page there. So the common condition, so you have to remember to check this box. All right. So once you're into the project conditions page, this is now where you're going to bring in your conditions. So I'm going to grab an interior partition, and I'm going to add that into the page. into my project conditions page. Now this is another little trick here. We're going to do tilde RC tilde, which is replicate condition. And now we've got our question marks. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit replicate. So at this point, we're going to say how many walls we have. And I'm going to do, maybe we'll do 8 walls or so. So you'll say however many you have, and the Edge will go through and replicate that for that number of times. So now what you're going to do is set up that wall type. So the best idea is to call it whatever it's called out as in the plans, and then go through and make your changes to that wall. We're all familiar with how to build a wall in the Edge. This is where you'll go in and do it. Once you're done with that, then you'll hit OK and move on to the next one. So now we've got our next wall here. And then we'll bring in the next wall type. So we're doing W1S, right? Because it can't be W2 right away. W1S. Hit OK. Again, you'll go through and make whatever changes to that wall. Put in the detail. This one's going to be W2. This one here is going to be W2S. So if you're looking through your plans and you see the P1004, this is going to be what you're going to match up to whatever you have on your plans as well. So we'll do one more here. So what do we have? Like 5 different wall types or something, right? All right. So once you have this piece done, you're then going to go to your takeoff screen. All right. I'm going to slide this out of the way. And here is the takeoff screen. All right, we'll go back up to the top here. I'm going to bring in our pages. And now, once you have your condition list over here, we're just going to go one to the next down, and we're going to map over on this side. So we have our condition W1. We're looking to bring over the lineal feet, and we're going to do that for the entire section, which is all 3 pages. And then we're going to go grab the wall to match up with our condition W1, and we're going to grab our information that we're mapping over from W1. So there's 216 of those walls. We're going to take that and we're going to map that right back against for the entire section. Yes, please. And there it's going to do the entire thing now. So it just did 1,000, well, let's say 1,100 lineal feet on the second floor, 1,160 on the third floor, and then 1,100 on the fourth floor. So it just brought those over really quickly. And then from there, the process basically repeats. I like to change the color of each of the wall types as I'm going along. But that's pretty much the entire process. So now we're doing W1S. We'll go W1S for the section. See, it brought in section already because that's what we did last. So W1S right here, and then assign. So it just did all of those. This one just came out on that one second floor. Now, when you say do the whole section, it does the other couple hundred feet on the third and fourth floor as well. So that's the process. It's this. It's quick. It's easy. You allow WorkPack to get its hands dirty for you and push it to Edge Smart Takeoff From there, you're going to then get it over into the edge and map it. Once you've mapped it, you have your quantities. So we got W2, we're matching it up with W2. We've got 85 of those walls. Assign it to the section. Yes to the entire section. And so then boom, it comes out all 3 floors done. So that's it. As you're going through and doing that portion, the edge is also taking those quantities and mapping them over just like it normally would. So here are each of those walls that we were doing, and everything else is still pushing forward. You have all of your pricing multiplying across. You have your labor still calculating, getting your total number of hours, your total number of man days, and then you still have your markups coming in, and all of your reports are done as well. So that, in a nutshell, is the speed and accuracy of WorkPack with the integration with EDGE Smart Takeoff. All right, that's what we have for the presentation today. Just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already, go ahead and enter your questions into the chat.
All right. I really appreciate everyone for joining in today. Feel free to reach out to me at the info you see on your screen. Have a great day.